Hi, my name is Dustin Keegan, Team Dynamic Discs. This is my 2019 in the bag. I'm going to start out with drivers. First and foremost, number one, go-to, enforcers all day long. I use Fusion mainly is my favorite, just consistency, plastic grip wise. I use the Lucid enforcer as well, and I have an old first run enforcer from my good friend Brian Cole back in Oregon. These three pretty much are my go-to off the tee 90% of the time, and I use them for long range hyzers, power flex lines, spikes, all of the above, pretty much majority backhand. And this is my favorite driver in the dynamic lineup, hands down. They will be in my bag all year, forever, really. I also use the Biofusion Defenders. These are sweet. I got a nice Zoe Bird Defender here, and I got this sweet one dyed that Paige gave me that she got in Europe. The Defender is a very reliable disc, even though I don't throw it a lot of the time. Every time I use it, I trust it. I use it for full flexes. It's a little less stable than the Enforcer. They have a nice glide to them, so when you put them on anhyzer, they will hold and drift to, 10 to 20 feet off the line to the right and then finish hard back towards the middle. So flexes, I use them for sidearm mostly. Enforcers are a little too stable for my sidearm power, so I like the Defender's glide to really get me some extra distance. And these are sweet. I'm really stoked on the Biofusion Defender. New to the bag is the Gold Line Ballista Pro. I'm still learning these. I really like their flight in tailwind specifically. They just go really far. This is the farthest flying disc I've thrown in the Trilogy lineup, hands down. But I'm still working on the accuracy with them. And the greatest news about all the drivers is the Raider just came out and just was approved by the PDGA recently, and this will hopefully take my place of the Defender and the Ballista Pro after I finally get some rounds in with it, get some practice. The grip is amazing. The plastic feels so good. This is just the perfect complement to the Enforcer. Has a little more stand up, a little more glide, a little more turn. People are saying it's a more overstable Ballista Pro. When these hit the shelves, go get one, the Raider. This will be in my bag for the rest of the year for sure. Those are my distance drivers, pretty simple. I go on to Fairways. I use the Criminal. I have a special edition Criminal in my bag right now. It's very, very overstable. The most overstable disc in my bag, hands down. And I really don't use these very much at home because I play in the woods a lot, but anytime I'm out here in open Arizona in the wind, in GBO, those hyzer bomb courses, Criminal will be in my bag, saving me strokes. I use it primarily backhand, mostly spikes. Sometimes I'm throwing flat with some flex on them, but this is a very, very accurate, reliable spike hyzer disc, and that's why it's in the bag, especially out here in Arizona. I love the Getaway. This is one of the best discs in our lineup. It's a really controllable fairway. This is the Biofusion. I also have a hybrid that comes in and out of the bag sometimes. It's a little more stable. This one has some nice stand-up. I can trust it on hyzer and it will stand up to almost flat and then hit the Getaway glide and just go. When I hit these right, they can go just as far as all my distance drivers, but there's a little more control in them. I like them for lower line shots, kind of low ceilings, stand-up hyzers, all backhand. Getaway, get your one. I also throw gold line, or not gold line, gold line Explorer, the match play ones, burst. These are very straight. It's kind of squirrely on me, but I've learned it and I can really trust it on a hyzer release, and it will just go dead straight. If I throw it flat, it will drift, you know, maybe 10 to 12 feet off of the straight line and then finish back. If I put it on Annie, it will hold the whole time. These are an awesome, awesome control fairway driver. Highly recommend the Explorer. I'm excited to get a few more of these. If you ever see any of this color, send them my way. And then I think this is my most favorite fairway driver in my bag. It's one that not a lot of people on our team use that I know of, and it's called the Fortress from Westside. This is a really it's not really overstable, but it's very trustworthy and it will never flip. It goes 400 for me accurately, but I can use it up to 300 on higher hyzers. It flipped to flat if I really, really hit it hard in a headwind, but in a normal conditions, normal power, it's just a smooth 360 to 400 foot fairway, right to left for hyzers, highly accurate. I trust it over water, I trust it in headwinds, I trust this disc almost more than any fairway in my bag. The Fortress from Westside, definitely worth trying. Bust out my Felons. Obviously, this is a must-have for any dynamic player. The Felon is probably my most trusted sidearm disc. I don't throw it backhand very often, as I like the Criminal for more spike shots than the Felon, but sidearm, this is pretty much all I throw from 330, 350 and in. And this is an old Dymax Felon first run that I actually got at the used shelf here at Spinners on the Green last November for $7, which was awesome. And this thing has been in the bag. It has a little more stand up than my other Felons. It's very controllable. I can throw nice flex lines with it. If I turn it, it will hold, but then always finish. It will stand up backhand even and finish straight. But as it slows down, it really likes to skip and get left. And I also use the beautiful Eric Oakley Lucid Ex-Felon. This is my go-to sidearm approach from 330 to 250, really. Low ceilings, flex lines, touch shots, you name it. Any sort of sidearm shot, I will be busting out. The Lucid X, Eric Oakley, these pink ones he gave me are just beautiful. I have a couple backups, which I'm very excited about, so I can trust this over water. I can trust it in headwinds, anywhere. The Felon is the best sidearm disc that I've personally ever thrown in my career, hands down. It has really good stand-up when I finally get them hard. I don't throw sidearms super hard, so I like to throw them flat with a little turn, and they'll just go dead straight for 250, and then as they slow down, they just hook up right. And so if you're looking for a really trustworthy approach, trustworthy spike hyzer disc, trustworthy sidearm, comfortable, speed 9, Eric Oakley Felon, old Dymax Felon, just get yourself a Felon, you'll be happy. And then probably my favorite disc in the woods that I've ever thrown in my whole career is the Maverick. I use the Lucid X Maverick, Zach Melton edition. Has a little more stability than the stock stamp Mavericks and has a little stiffer feel, which I like most of my plastic on the stiffer side. I'm not a big gummy fan. I have kind of a hard grip, so I like my plastic stiff so I can hold them tight. This disc will hold anhyzers completely. They will hyzer to flat and be extremely accurate on a really straight line if you trust them on hyzer. You can throw high flex shots with them. You can throw a little shorter range rollers. I can throw sidearm with this. It's very comfortable for sidearm, for a little flex getting out of trouble. This is the most versatile disc in my bag, hands down. I don't throw it out here in the deserts very often because it's so windy and open. But anytime I'm in the woods, you'll be seeing me throw these yellow, or I have a couple white ones as well, but these yellow ones are my favorite. Lucid X Maverick, get yourself one. Support Zach Melton. These are gems, true gems. For my roller, I throw the Opto Havok. Zach and AJ got me onto this disc last year, and it just feels really comfortable in the hand. It's really fast, but it has a nice rounded edge to it, so when it hits on a rolling angle, it doesn't click over. It just kind of rolls into the angle you put it on. It doesn't have that blunt edge where it kind of will stick and land, which means when they get flippy, they will not hold very long. But brand new out of the box, they go really far, they hold, they are just really comfortable. They flip fast, but they're not flippy, if that makes sense. So when you really hit them hard on a roller angle, they'll get down to the 30 to 45 degree angle and really ride it before getting to its edge. And I don't know, this has been, finding a proper roller has been one of the biggest issues for me over the last year of switching. I haven't found something that really trusted my throw and the angles that I like to roll on. And once Zach gave me his Havok to try, it just kind of fit in my palm. And a lot of the discs I throw, it's all about feel. If it feels good in my hand, I can learn it and I can figure out how well it flies. But if it's supposed to be a good roller for somebody and it doesn't quite feel good in my hand, I'm not really gonna try it. So this one just fits in my palm perfectly. It rolls a long way and it's really fast, but it's controllable for a roller, and you can slap it down fast, you can throw it long and have it turn into sky rollers. So I highly recommend the Opto Havoks. I use these white ones that you can't quite see through, the opaques. They have a little more stability. And yeah, get yourself a Havok for long range rollers. All right, mid-ranges. I'm pretty simple mid-range thrower here. I use, obviously, the signature Dustin Keegan Verdict. These are the most reliable mid-range in my bag, hands down. I can throw them really hard and flat, and they just go dead straight and then stable out when they slow down. I pop them on hyzer, and it won't necessarily flip to flat, but it will glide forward on hyzer, which is very useful. It is comfortable enough I can throw it sidearm to get out of trouble. It's just overall very versatile, stable mid-range. So if you throw it on anhyzer, it will hyzer out, it will flatten out and kind of ride. But if you throw it on hyzer, it's not a meat hook. It's not just gonna go left instantly. It will penetrate forward while staying on that hyzer line. I have my buddy Lou from Tea Time Disc Golf Productions dyed this one for me last year, and it just looks so cool flying in the air. I'm really stoked on the hybrid verdicts. Thank you all for buying one, supporting me out there last year. You can get these still online, I believe. They're on sale. Actually, go on dynamicdisc.com and get yourself one. And then, of course, I throw the Emac Truth. I only have one in my bag for this week, but there's usually 2 to 3 that I cycle in and out. This is an old one I got from Paige. She had this in her bag when she won the Worlds in Georgia. And when I made the switch, this was the first disc she gave me, and it's still in my bag to this day. It's pretty flippy, but it's very trustworthy. I can go hyzer to full flip to turnover. I can throw stand-up sidearms with it. I like throwing spike hyzers that kind of stand up and finish straight. Very versatile. This is my main turnover disc right now. I have a more stable truth that I use. I also use the Peter Mcbride truth for straighter lines, for through the woods. So much glide. These discs go a long way for a mid-range, way farther than any mid-range I've used. And that's why you kind of, you know, they're almost pseudo fairway drivers, because you can really squeeze these. You know, with a high ceiling, I can get this out to 400, but low ceiling, it's just going to be controllable. It's going to flip to flat for me and really just finish with the glide. Awesome EMAC truth. Get yourself one for sure. And then this is considered a mid-range, but it's more of a utility disc for me. I use the Moonshine Justice. I use this disc specifically sidearm and backhand hyzer chip shots. This is get yourself out of trouble, save yourself strokes on upshots. I like throwing these sidearm flat and just having them get to hyzer and skip, skip, skip towards the basket for most of my upshots. I use this out at Fountain Hills a lot for spike hyzers, just because it's so stable, gets to edge really fast and won't skip. It will just stick like a nice driver. It has a really sharp edge for a mid-range, so when it gets to edge, it doesn't act, it doesn't skip on really dry surfaces. It really spikes in there and just kind of sticks to the ground. This disc will be in and out of my bag all year. In the woods, I don't really use it, but out here in the open, this is a go-to. I will be using this all week here in Arizona, and this was one of the MVPs for my rounds in Vegas. Get yourself a Justice. I really like the Moonshine plastic. It has a nice grip to it. It has a little more gumminess than a couple of the other Justices I have. And it is just crazy overstable. So if you play in the wind, if you have problems with flipping your sidearms, get yourself a Justice. It will make up for it. All right, on to kind of putter approach. I have a medium blend Harp. This is another Zoe Bird Harp. This has been in my bag since the minute I switched to dynamic. This is the first Harp I used, and it's still perfect. It is not overstable at all for a Harp. This thing is dead straight, but will not flip. I throw this majority sidearm, probably 70% sidearm, 30% backhand, but most of my sidearm approaches will be with this blue Harp. I just throw it flat and it just goes dead straight until it slows down, and then it will hyzer out. It will never roll over. I've yet to roll it over, and this thing is all beat up. It's bent, it's warped, just flies perfect. The Harp is one of the most comfortable sidearm discs I've ever thrown for approaches, and it just flies so straight. It's mind-blowingly straight, and it just is perfect. And this medium blend plastic I really like because it doesn't react on the ground as much. It sticks, it kind of, you can hit them on hyzer and they'll come in on a skip angle and it will just hit and kind of check up, bounce ante. Like, it never really flare skips. It will just sit, the plastic just kind of bends and falls right to where you want it. Really, really accurate. I can still throw flex lines through the trees with it. I can still throw backhand kind of flat and let it fade, but just get yourself a Harp, work it in, and it will be in your bag for the rest of the time, for sure. On to the putters, which are my favorite. Dynamic Discs, Latitude, Westside, they have the best putters on the market. Nothing's even close, in my opinion. The glide, the trust, the consistency, the plastic, the feel, all their putter molds are amazing. So find one that fits your hand and just go with it. Try all the plastics. All our hands are different sizes, so you know, all putters feel different to everybody else. But once you find one you like, the glide out of the Swedish plastic is just unreal. And so one of my favorite putters to use throwing is the Opto Pier. This will be in my bag forever. This is a nice spin die from my buddy Jeff Ballard back in Oregon. And this disc has been in my bag all of last year, and it's still dead straight. This is the straightest disc I've ever thrown, and with no ceiling, I can squeeze 350 to 400 feet with a pier. It blows my own mind when I throw it. This one's gotten some beat in, obviously. It's been in my bag for a year, so I kind of have to hit it with a touch of hyzer now, and it will flip to flat and go straight, but it will never really just roll over on me. Brand new, you just throw them flat, and they just go straight. 0-0, it's unreal. Get yourself an Opto pier. They feel different than the other baseline plastics. The Opto has, I feel like, a little deeper dish, and it just fits my palm perfectly. I throw all my putters fan grip, so this thing is just lined up and dead straight. This will be my Maine woods putter. I don't throw it a ton out here unless we have a tailwind, just because there's so much open space. But the pier, if you see me on camera throwing in the woods, it's gonna be a pier, 100%. And another, Zoe actually got me into this disc, is the Marshall, throwing only. This is just an amazing disc. The Marshall is so reliable for hyzer backhand approach shots. It doesn't have a ton of glide, so it will just float and then get to the ground. I use the classic blend plastic. It has a little extra tack to it. I feel like they're a touch more stable. It's really flat, but then has a blunted edge, so it's kind of beefy in the hand, so you really feel like you can rip it and trust it, but it won't flip. It just goes straight. After a while, you can throw these on hyzer, and they will just go straight on hyzer. They don't even hyzer. But if you throw them flat, they'll just go straight flat. And if you throw them Annie, they might drift a little bit, but they really just go straight on Annie. It's a really unique disc. It's really trustworthy. You can hit all sorts of lines. You can really trust it in the wind. A lot of putters, you know, feel reluctant when there's a 30-mile-an-hour headwind on you. You're like, oh, I must need a Justice or a Harp. But I have enough confidence now in these classic blend Marshalls where any sort of headwind, any sort of crosswind, I can still throw this on hyzer. It will go dead straight. It might hyzer at the end, and it checks on the ground with this nice classic blend plastic. The Marshall is just an unreal throwing putter. One of my favorites. The Pure and the Marshall blew my mind when I made the switch, and they are stock in my bag forever. I also use a classic blend Warden. This is another Zoe Bird. This one has been in my bag just as long as I blew Harp, so from day one. This is my spin putter. I throw this a lot sidearm, little baby touch shots, maybe some longer on fast greens, some longer spin approaches. I consider this a utility disc. Whenever I'm in trouble or whenever I have a low ceiling or I need a spin putt or it's crazy windy out and I have to really get some nose up, air bounce, some nice touch shots. This is a touchy disc, but flies so great. Mainly in the woods, obviously, that's where I play most my golf, but out here, even in the open, it's just such a reliable beadless putter. It just goes straight, but even this one being so old and beat up will hyzer out at the end. It will get on the edge and really finish straight even on a hyzer angle. It's kind of a trick disc almost in a way, how I've tuned this one up. But if you watch me throw touch sidearms, it's gonna be with this Zoe Bird Warden for sure. I don't see myself losing this one in a while just because it's so accurate and I know exactly how it's gonna throw. So get yourself one for sure. And then my bread and butters, Zero Hard daggers. This was the first putter I tried when I made the switch, and I don't see myself ever using another putter in my career. The dagger is the best putter I have ever used. I have a really slow, methodical kind of straddle spin push putt, and the dagger just flies so perfectly for me. It has good stability, but it will hold up in the wind. It has so much glide that I feel like I don't have to put much energy on it to really get it to go anywhere. So my normal putt 2 years ago, as I got to 40 or 50 feet, I felt like I really had to put some power on it. Where now it's like I feel a 30-foot power with a dagger goes 50 feet. It's crazy. These discs just stay in the air and they stay right on the line you put them on. And at the end of the flight, they will slow down in hyzer. So my putt is kind of like a free throw. I just kind of line up and aim just right at the middle of the pole and just watch it go straight. And as it slows down, it just kind of right into the middle. So the dagger, I use 0 hard plastic. This is a special universal play disc golf stamp here. Always got to rep our nonprofit. And these are just the best putter. I'm in love, and I will always use the dagger, for sure. Right now I'm using the Commander bag. That's my full lineup here. And I've tried the Ranger, I've tried the Commander. I just kind of like how the Commander sits, and the side pockets have a lot of storage. I can put enough food in here, towels, etc. I can have enough room to put the coat, put extra shirts, put whatever we need in here. And I like the vertical loading of my putters. It's for easy access. And I use the easy cart a lot when I'm home, and this thing just sits right on it so perfectly. So find yourself the new Commanders. I got this old sweet GBO one, and yeah, this is one of my best bags in the market, I think, and highly recommended. As for little swags, I don't have too much. I have a couple really cool little items. Always got to have some Sharpies, some extra pencils. I got some super glue just in case my fingers crack. I got a knife, always just in case something goes wrong. But a couple little good luck charms is I have this necklace in here that Zoe got me a few years back that's in shape of a little duck. And it just represents my hometown Oregon Ducks, and it's just one little good luck. It's cut out of a dime, so it's my money duck right here. Always got to have some bag swag for some good mojo. I got a couple cool coins. I have some $50, some Sacagaweas. Just always got to have some cool swag. I got a 1947 quarter in here that's worth like 12 bucks or something like that. So just add some flavor to your bag. It's gonna make you more excited to go out there and play. You're just gonna have some little extra juju. I'm not super superstitious, but I love having just things that bring back good memories of good times out there on the course. So, and I always have some extra money just in case. I've pretty much dialed in my bag, and this is gonna be it for a while. Obviously, I'm really stoked to add the Raider, and actually a new disc I'm really excited to try is the Gatekeeper. I've been throwing the prototype one, but I lost mine in Vegas, so now I just got to get a new one. But that disc will probably make my lineup really trustworthy mid-range, a little more stable than the EMAC Truth, but a little less stable than my signature Verdict. So get yourself a Gatekeeper when they come out officially and just rip on them. They're money. So thanks for supporting me. I appreciate everybody out there with all the positive vibes. Keep watching us. DD's been an unreal family to me. It's unlike anything I've experienced in my disc golf career. People really care about us and want to see us do well. So I'm proud to always have the D's and the team on my back representing. So thanks. See you guys soon.